7 plants because technically garlic is a vegetable and tomatoes fruits, but no fewer than 7 plants are in this Mediterranean stir fry. This is one of those recipes that you want to make when you're tired and you're hungry, when you really want something quick, but you just don't want to be feeling guilty afterwards. So that's the idea anyway, so let's jump right into it. This recipe is quite forgiving, so you can freestyle. I use chicken mini fillets, but you can use some chicken fillets, which you can cut into thinner strips. To season the chicken, you don't really use a marinade, simply add the olive oil, the peri-peri seasoning, which I'm absolutely obsessed with at the moment, and a little bit of salt, and then you mix it together and cover it. Put it in the fridge and let it marinate for at least 30 minutes or even overnight is better. Then it's time to slice up your vegetables. So the idea is to slice the vegetables really thinly. If you think shoestring, maybe you had shoestring fries, the idea is to slice the vegetables really thinly so they can cook quickly. The secret is to keep some of the crunch, but make sure that everything is cooked through. Slice your vegetables really thinly, and I have to confess here, it's not me with that knife action, it's my daughter Iggy. I'm a little bit more of a home cook than a chef. Also, what you want to do is to set the vegetables aside in separate prepared bowls so that it's easy to grab them when you're ready. I hope you make this recipe because it's really one of those recipes that you just whip up during the week when you come home from work. You really think, I just don't want to be in the kitchen for more than half an hour. Have this meal, maybe a glass of wine with it, and then relax and do something enjoyable. I think the trickiest vegetable to cook in this recipe is the aubergine or eggplant, because it's slightly spongy, so that's the one that you need to keep an eye on to make sure it cooks well, because that's the one that you actually want soft. Right, now you've got all your veggies prepped, you can start frying the chicken. Add a little olive oil, about a tablespoon, in a medium to hot pan, and cook the marinated chicken strips until golden brown and cooked through. No pink juices. It will take 2-3 minutes per side, even less if your chicken strips are thinner. Just remember, if you're doubling up this batch, you will have to cook the chicken in 2 or 3 batches. Once the chicken is cooked, remove from the pan and set it aside. Then I'll start cooking the veggies. I'll use the same pan here, but one tip I will give you, you want to see if there is a little bit of burnt residue at the bottom of the pan. I would suggest take 2 minutes to clean that pan because you don't want to have then your vegetables burning further. When you add your veggies, just give them a minute or so. You want them to catch a little bit of that oil from the bottom of the pan and then start sizzling and caramelizing. And that's when you can start moving them. And at that point, you can add a little bit of salt and a little bit of the same Mediterranean inspired seasoning. As your vegetables are nice and golden, a little bit soft but still crunchy, you can take them aside next to the chicken. So again, use the same pan to add your cherry tomatoes. They will start blistering in the olive oil. You just want to make sure that they get a little bit soft and they release some of those juices. To the tomatoes, then add the spinach. You will think that's probably a lot of spinach because 200 grams sounds like a lot, but even though it might look like a lot to start with, it will just wilt in the pan. Now is the time to put the vegetables and the chicken back together in the pan and start mixing them. You might want to give it a taste here to see if you want to put more salt or a little bit more seasoning, and just want to make sure that you don't let that pan run dry. And that's it, so you can serve the Mediterranean stir fry over rice or some quinoa. That's it. I hope you give this recipe a thumbs up, like, subscribe and share with your family and friends. And I hope you are subscribed to my channel if you want to watch more flexitarian recipes, of course. Enjoy!